Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting for the Carpinteria Valley Water District to order. Can we have the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please, Lisa.
Director O'Connor?
Here.
Director Holcomb?
Here.
Director Balch?
Here.
Director Roberts?
Here.
Director Van Wingerden?
Yes.
5 present.
Then we got item number 3, agenda confirmation. Kelly, you want to change anything?
Director O'Connor wanted to add a report out under item 10, director reports for the COMB special board meeting that was held today, March 11th.
Okay, do we need a motion for that, or we just accept that?
It wouldn't hurt to entertain a motion.
We do not.
No, we do want to approve.
Polly
would
makes a
just do it
move
by
to add the COMB special meeting report.
I'll second that.
We got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Director O'Connor?
Aye.
Director Holcomb?
Yes.
Director Balch?
Aye.
Director Roberts?
Aye.
Director Van Wingerden?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Then we got item number 4, public forum. Any person may address the board of directors on any matter within its jurisdiction, which is not on the agenda. This is for the water district. No? None? Thank you. Then we got the consent agenda, item number 5A. Any discussion on 5A? Then can we have a motion, please?
Polly makes a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Who was the second? Keith. Who wants
I
to claim
was.
it?
Casey
Okay.
was, sure.
Okay.
Split second.
Okay, Director O'Connor?
Aye.
Director Holcomb?
Yes.
Director Balch?
Aye.
Director Roberts?
Aye.
Director Van Wingerden?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Then we got item number 6, unfinished business, none. Item number 7, we're going to adjourn to the regular board meeting of the Carpinteria Groundwater Sustainability Agency. Call the meeting to order. Item number 2, agenda confirmation. Any changes, Kelly?
No changes.
And we're good. Then we got item number 3, public forum. Any person may address the board of directors on any matter within its jurisdiction, which is not in the agenda. We got both Tony and Alan. Tony, you want to go first?
Hi, Anthony Brown, 6200 Casitas Pass Road. It's been a while. Hello. I would like to thank you for moving ahead with the extraction of well water for the basis of charging. And I want to bring up something that I had mentioned before, was the actual groundwater basin boundaries. I think they're wacko. I know that it's a big effort to look into it, but I would hope that sometime the basin, groundwater basin, could be looked at again, and maybe a little more seriously, because when I've got the slipping side of La Conchita in the groundwater basin, and over here on these foothills, and all the way over toward the polo field, some of that out of the basin, I really question it. And so that I'd just like to bring that up again, that sometime I hope that there's an ability to look at the groundwater basin again. And I guess that's it.
Noted. Thank you. We're good. Thank you, then. Alan?
Hello, board members of the Groundwater Sustainability Agency. Glad to speak to you in that capacity here tonight. I want to express some concern about the cost and availability of water long-term for agriculture in the basin. As you know, the water district just moved forward with a project with the sanitary district to purchase water, very expensive water from the sanitary district that will, that the growers that use water district water for their agricultural production will be forced to purchase that sanitary district water at a very high cost. We talked at the previous meetings about the increased cost for residential users, and that essentially the affordability at 2.5% of median income is kind of a threshold that was presented at that meeting, and that the increase in rates that the district approved brings those costs up to that 2.5%, which will essentially max out the credit card for a very long time. I don't know if that similar analysis was done for agricultural users, but certainly their costs are going to increase dramatically, and they won't really have a choice but to purchase that water from the sanitary district. Now, that's done. The district voted to proceed with that. So now that that credit card is maxed out, the Groundwater Sustainability Agency and the growers that don't rely on the district, as well as some that do, are still left with a gap in availability of water. As we know from the Groundwater Sustainability Plan, we still have a deficit. So we still have a problem. The 1,000 acre feet that will be produced from the project that the district decided to proceed with is a fraction of the continuing need that the district and the private pumpers will still have that need. And so now it's a question of what to do now that the district is not going to be able, I'm assuming, the district will not be able to raise additional revenue to contribute to improving the condition of the groundwater basin outside of the project you already proceeded with. And so the growers are still left with a deficit. Talked to you a lot about recharge projects in the basin. Think that's high time to start pursuing those. Looks like and sounds like the funding is not going to come from the district fees, so it would have to come from somewhere else. Of course, you're here representing both counties and the city as well as the district. So I think there are other partners that can bring resources to the table. I encourage you to pursue that. One thing I'd mention, I spoke about this when I came last time, but stormwater capture is going to be a great way to improve the condition of the groundwater aquifer. In LA, they have a pretty substantial stormwater capture program. In December, I saw a press release that I'll send. Hello, Ms. Dyer. Haven't met you yet, but Kelly, Alan Soicher. I'll send that I'd ask you to forward to the rest of the board members here about the stormwater capture that they were able to capture just from the fall storms, not even the more recent storms that we had. That was along the lines of 16,000 acre feet just from those storms. Of course, they have a bigger area to work with, but they're moving forward and generating a lot of available water through their programs. I think there's a lot of opportunity to pursue that here. And also want to find a way to keep water affordable for agriculture here in the basin and available. And I'll come with some more ideas at future meetings, but just wanted to bring that forward. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan.
Card too.
Actually, I liked, so Alan, just for discussion then is, obviously we got CAP, then we're working on injection. We're moving forward with both. And I do believe the entire board is very mindful of the third option, which is basin recharge. And just for the record, I'm the only person in the valley that owns a recharge basin, so I'm a big proponent of the concept. So we're good. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
item number 4, consent agenda. Item 4A, any discussion? Then item 4B, any discussion? Then can we have a motion, please?
I'll move for approval of the consent agenda.
Polly seconds.
We got a motion and a second. Any more discussion and roll call, please?
Director O'Connor?
Aye.
Director Holcomb?
Yes.
Director Balch?
Aye.
Director Roberts?
Aye.
Director Van Wingerden?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Then we got item number 5, unfinished business, none. Item number 6, new business. 6A, consider proposed resolution number 042, adopting revisions to the well registration and metering policy for action. Kelly?
Yes, thank you, directors. I have a slide deck here, and I'm going to go through it, but if there's any questions along the way, please feel free to stop. We also have staff here today, Brian and Danielle, who have been very involved with implementing this policy, and of course, Bob, here for additional questions. So first, I'll go through goals and background on the policy, the status of outreach and implementation, and then go through some of the suggested revisions to the policy. As questions have come up during implementation, we wanted to suggest some changes for clarification purposes. The overall goal is long-term sustainability, which is required under the California Sustainable Groundwater Management Act. And the metering policy goals are to improve water management, ensure equitable cost distribution, and enhance accuracy of groundwater extraction data. This is done through implementation of our AMI infrastructure for real-time groundwater monitoring and reporting. This is a network that we currently use for our water district meters. So the policy was adopted by the board on August 13th with a deadline of March 31st, 2026 for well registration and flow meter registration. And we've done a lot of outreach in the last couple months. This was presented to the board last month, so I wasn't going to go through all the details, but it summarizes all of the press releases, social media posts, direct mailers, e-blasts that were completed in January and February. And in March, we have tomorrow a well registration assistance event from 9 to 4. We had sent out e-blasts and social media posts, as well as a Coastal View ad regarding this event, and it is full. We've had a lot of interest in it, so all of the time slots have been taken, and we've had some additional people beyond that. So we're likely going to be hosting another event. We haven't set a date yet, but we'll likely do this again because of all the interest that was received. So policy implementation, as of today, 30 wells have submitted their paperwork and 16 are complete. You can see down below of the complete wells what the breakdown is. Most of them are abandoned and exempt from the flow meter requirements. 4 of them were active wells which required flow meters. 1 was de minimis and exempt, and 1 was inactive and flow meter exempt. So I think that number will continue to increase because we continue to get a lot of engagement and calls from well owners to request assistance with their forms. So I think this will continue to, forms will continue to come in. We have been responding to numerous calls, and based on the conversations and the discussions to date, we wanted to recommend policy revisions for clarification purposes. And then subsequently, which is the next item on the agenda, we were requesting allowing more time for the registration by temporarily waiving any penalties. So we'll talk about that as the next item where will give more people more time to complete this process. Okay, so the proposed changes were included in the packet. There is a guidance document that was included, which summarizes what all the changes were. And then there was also a red line of the policy itself. So I'll just go through some slides here to talk about them. If there's any questions, please let me know. Chapter 1 changes, where the guidance document changes 1 through 7, where we deleted the definition of exempt wells and added more clarity for types of exempt wells. So there's destroyed wells, flow meter exempt wells, fully exempt wells, and then data transmitter exempt wells. And so this section was really just to clarify definitions and add more categories of different types of exempt wells. I don't know if you want me to read the definitions, I can, but they're on, let's see, page 21 of the GSA packet. Chapter 2 changes, we updated figure 2, which is our process diagram. We previously only had one option for, had options for inactive, abandoned, and de minimis and active wells, what to do if you're one of those categories. So we've added destroyed and gas station monitoring wells, and then also added clarification that flow meter accuracy testing forms are required for all meters that are not brand new, as well as all insertion meters. Changes later in the document, we are allowing insertion meters for compliance. However, their accuracy kind of depends on the well sometimes. So even if it's a brand new insertion meter, we want to see an in situ accuracy test just to make sure that it's working correctly. Chapter 3 changes, we added a reference to the recorded listening sessions, which are available on our YouTube channel. There were 3 listening sessions, and it's a lot of questions and answers during those meetings. So I think people might be able to just listen to those and get the answer they're looking for. Chapters 4 and 5, we changed private well to clarify all wells must be registered unless they're fully exempt, and changed person to property owner to clarify the responsibility of payment. And we also updated text for consistency with other sections. Chapter 6, this is what I was just referring to. We added new language to allow insertion meters, but it does require in situ accuracy testing for both new and existing. Figure 4 was updated to clarify backflow requirements. We added several of the regulating authorities over backflows. So it includes the pesticide regulations, the irrigated lands program, California well standards, and then the Santa Barbara County standards. So there's several places where backflows are discussed as requirements by other agencies. And we could not find anything that necessarily said that it's required ahead of the meter. So we did still include our requirement that it should be placed after the meter when required. Chapter 7 changes, Clarifying language that de minimis, inactive, and abandoned wells are flow meter exempt. And clarifying language that destroyed wells and gas station monitoring wells are fully exempt. And then Carpinteria Valley Water District wells have to read the flows, but we don't have data transmitters put on for AMI since we're already connected to SCADA. So there's no need to have the AMI data transmitters. Chapter 7 changes, added requirements for GSA maintained dedicated monitoring wells, and then added language that, or I just mentioned this, it's a similar change, that Carpinteria Valley Water District wells are exempt from the data transmitter. And then the appendices, we updated the well registration form for consistency with the previous revisions and also the well flow meter registration form. We also updated the list of AMI compatible flow meters and updated the vendors and contact info and updated the text in Appendix O for consistency. So with that, I'll take any questions. Otherwise, there is a resolution in your packet recommending adoption of the policy revisions. I will note that the resolution is written such that some of the appendices would be authorized for the executive director to update administratively, and this would be appendices B through N, which is essentially everything except for the fees. Since we may get updated information on vendors or types of meters, more of the technical information as well as the format of the forms we might be updating as we go. So I was requesting authorization to do that without having to come back to the board every time.
Any questions?
Yeah, a couple of thoughts. I think this is a really good demonstration of, listening to our customers. So appreciate the follow through on all this. Is that to say that we don't expect further feedback that would rise to this level based on the additional engagements that you have planned?
Director, that's hard to say. I mean, this might become a little bit of a living document as we go through this early stages of implementation. So at this point, we haven't heard anything that would require revision to the policy, but we're still hearing from people, so we might have to come back at a later time potentially.
Very good, thanks.
Casey, anything?
I had a couple of questions. So it sounds like we weren't able to find any definitive answer on the backflow placement. Is there a specific reason that we're sticking to the proposed plan as opposed to being flexible on it, or?
I'm going to ask Bob to answer that because he did a lot of research on the regulations.
Yeah, so backflow devices have valves on them, and we've seen in the field that people do connect up hoses and things to their backflow devices. So the idea about not having any way to get water out prior to the meter is the driver for why we want everything after the downstream of the meter.
Is there a annual or some period of inspection after approval of these installations?
Backflow installations?
No, the meter approval.
After the installation, they have 5 years, and then they have to get it tested again, and then thereafter 3 years, every 3 years.
But the district has or the agency has no intention of inspecting the wells really at any point.
Inspecting for?
It's set up, its orientation, it's.
I believe we included some field checking once it was installed, but beyond that, we wouldn't return annually or anything like that.
And then is the plus or minus 5% on the accuracy requirement, is that in line with like the water district's requirements for our infrastructure meters?
That's a little more liberal than what we get. We went 98%, I think. And it's a little bit more liberal than the meter standard, so we just wanted to give a little bit of a buffer in there.
Perfect. Thank you.
Polly?
I just think this is a huge improvement, and I can't believe what you got done in 2 weeks. So I agree, going through it, I knew that this was going to be a fluid document. It's brand new. We haven't done anything like this before. And the gentleman that was here 2 weeks ago, I thought made some fantastic comments. And so I think this worked out fine. If you're going to do a second event, one thing that, of course, it sounds, pretty basic, but get a list of what worked and what didn't work so you can tweak it and improve it for the next group that you have. And just congratulations. I know a lot of work went into this and it showed. Thank you.
Agree with everything said. One question is, we do list known meter vendors as an appendix. I just conspicuously noticed that our local irrigation supply center is not listed here. Is that because we know they don't, or we just overlooked it? Because I'd hate to overlook a Carpinteria vendor on this list.
That's a good point. We don't know them to do installations. They're more of a supply house, but we can double check to make sure.
Oh, it says vendors. It doesn't say
Oh,
installers.
I see. We can double check that, yeah.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm good. So can we, if there's no more discussion, can we have a motion, please?
I move to adopt resolution 042.
Second?
We got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? And roll call, please, Lisa.
Director O'Connor?
Aye.
Director Holcomb? Yes. Director Balch?
Aye.
Director Roberts?
Aye.
Director Van Wingerden?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Then we got item number 6B, consider waiving penalties for the well registration and metering policy for action. Kelly?
Yes, thank you. So this is a pretty short presentation. We'll summarize what the penalties are currently for noncompliance and our recommended approach for waiving them. So we had the deadline of March 31st for well registration and flow meter registration. The intent was in April, the GSA would complete installation of all the AMI endpoints, and then by May 1st, we could start receiving AMI-based data for use in the next billing period, which is May 1st through April 30th. And so what we're recommending is that we revise the billing method and delay the use of AMI-based data until September 1st, in which case we would use our current approach, which is estimated pumping through August 31st based on latest information on aerial imagery and crops. So the penalty really was to use the highest crop factor previously for noncompliance, and so we would not be doing that until after September 1st. And there's also fees for failing to register, $120 for the well, and then $120 for the flow meter registration. So we're recommending all of those be waived until after August 31st. And we'll come back to the board to let you know how many people, how many wells are still out of compliance on that. So our recommendation is that the board authorize changes to the fiscal year 2026-2027 billing method to reflect AMI-based data usage starting September 1st and waive penalties until after August 31st. One note about this, we didn't necessarily want to change the due date on the March 31st for registration because we want people to still continue to get their forms in as early as possible. So we're really just focusing on waiving the penalties, but keeping that due date the same. We do need some time after the forms are delivered to the GSA to be able to go out and install the AMI endpoints. And so really, July 31st is what would be, the request for submission. No later than that, but as soon as possible, of course, so we can get out there and install the endpoints.
Any questions? Go ahead.
Will we be getting a periodic update? It doesn't have to be monthly or, whatever, but here's the paperwork that's in, here's how many are installed. Okay, great, thank you.
Anyone else? Just curious, the billing year for the property tax, because everybody needs to prove for a year whatever the meters show. When does the new year start for the property tax billing?
So we used estimated pumping from May 1st through April 30th, and then we submit that to the county tax roll. I believe the July 1st is their tax roll period.
Deadline for submittal is, I think, June 1st, right? Or yeah.
Yeah.
End of June, okay.
So they're on a fiscal year, same July through June, but we use pumping data a little bit offset from that so that we can get the fees into the county in time.
Right, but it's a year after the fact, so every private pumper needs to prove for a year what their actual use is, so there will be in July of the 1st of 27 then. I just want everybody to be aware of that. So.
Yeah, this is so for the next, for the current fiscal year 25 through 2026, we'll be using estimated pumping. And then for the next fiscal year, the GSA fiscal year, we'll be using estimated pumping from May through August. So it's a hybrid. We'll use estimated pumping from May through August and then use AMI-based data September through April to get the total pumping for the year for the next property tax
Billing
assessment.
cycle, okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure everybody understands it. Any other questions?
I asked Bob, actually.
If you could,
Yes, the question was if they could submit, I think it's waivers or adjustments to the estimated pumping if they find that our estimates are not correct. And yes, we will still accept those.
Yeah, prove us wrong and you're free to go, so.
Yeah.
Any other questions here?
just one more comment. It's basically the way we've been doing it for half the year, and then once September comes, we'll revert over to this metering strategy.
Okay, do we need a motion to approve the,
I'll make a motion.
sorry?
Polly seconds.
Okay,
Oh, the motion is.
exactly. Whatever Kelly
Let me explain
said.
what the motion is, and then maybe. The board will waive the penalties for well registration and flow meter registration until August 31st, 2026, and that the board authorizes proposed changes to the billing method to reflect the start of the AMI-based data use on September 1st, 2026.
Polly seconds.
You got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Then roll call, please.
Director O'Connor?
Aye.
Director Holcomb?
Yes.
Director Balch?
Aye.
Director Roberts?
Aye.
Director Van Wingerden?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Then we got item number 6C, consider preliminary fiscal year 2027, the Carpinteria groundwater sustainability budget. Kelly?
Yes, thank you. This is the preliminary budget for the GSA. We will be returning back to the board April 8th for the final proposed budget and adoption at that time. So this is really just for information and to receive feedback that you may have on the preliminary numbers. So I'll go over the fiscal year 2026, 2027 projections for operating expenses, debt repayment, revenue, and the cash balance. This is all in the packet as well. There's a lot of details in the packet, and this is a summary of the operating expenses. And so you can see our total operating expenses for the next fiscal year are projected to be about $503,000. That's an increase compared to the prior year budget of $367,000. And one of the larger expenses there was the increase in personnel costs. We do have overhead expenses for the GSA related to the staff time and as well as other office expenses. And so I wanted to just go through and tell a little bit about all the staff that are working on the GSA and what they do. We have, of course, the executive director, which oversees the overall operations, initiatives, and policies under the direction of the board of directors. We have our assistant general manager, who assists with day-to-day operations, financial performance, and staffing. The accountant, who prepares monthly financial statements, annual audit, and annual budget. We have an IT program manager who does a number of things with website support, software, network and server maintenance, desktop equipment, accounting system support, and customizations for well accounting and service orders. Our board secretary, who does accounts payable, disbursements, contracts, task accounting, and monitoring. Our district engineer, who answers questions from customers, meter installation specs, monitoring the AMI system. We also have a new public communications coordinator who's managing the website, social media, and print media. Our associate engineer, who does well sampling, that's monitoring of all of our monitoring wells, sounding of wells, and GPS location of wells. The GIS program analyst, who estimates land use, GPS locations of wells, well registration, working with the county and USGS on information and state well ID numbering, and managing the pumped water data, as well as answering questions from customers. And then we have our field technician, who does field checks on wells, installations, and maintenance of endpoints. So some of these positions are new as a result of our well metering program. We'll be spending more time. Everyone is part-time, though. Everyone is just allocated a fraction of their time compared to the water district time allocations. And I think there is, it's one of the benefits, I think, is the shared resources the GSA has of access to all of the staff that have these expertise that can work on a limited time basis without having to hire or contract the work out. The total allocation for all of these positions is about $160,000 working part-time. And then there is a portion of the overhead that covers benefits for those positions, the same as what the water district provides. And then there's indirect non-labor costs, which is office equipment type of expenses. So the total came out to $270,000. But I still think that there is I think there's a shared mutually beneficial arrangement between the GSA and the water district, in that some of these costs would be less than if the GSA had to operate independently. We also might not have the same resources available. But at the same time, this is, dedicated staff time towards the Groundwater Sustainability Agency and a shared resource. So I think that there's a mutually beneficial arrangement by having our staff allocate the time towards it.
Can I ask a question? Mm-hmm. So the only one that is interesting to me is when I see like the GIS program analyst. So 30% is a fair amount of time. I'm surprised that there's that much time available.
Yes.
So I don't know if it's just because this one year will be kind of a unique year, or as the registrations go on, it'll be unique, or how that looks.
Yes, and I will say that even though that's the title of the position, that's Danielle, she's really taken on a lot more than just GIS duties. So she's kind of our program manager for the GSA in some ways. So Yeah, it's,
We're not putting too much on them, I guess, is my
oh,
concern.
well, we check in every week, and I'm always asking her if she needs additional support.
Okay,
But she is a superstar.
great.
Okay, so the debt repayment, several years ago, the district lended money to the GSA in its initial startup to get going. And at that time, it was $514,000. And in fiscal year 2026, 300,000 of that was paid down. There is still a remaining balance of $214,644. We're proposing that that be paid down over a 3-year period. So for next fiscal year, that would be $71,000. One of the reasons it's been a little difficult to pay off is the revenues have not come in as projected previously with using the estimated pumping and then some of the corrections that were made. We ended up bringing in less revenue, so we weren't able to pay off the debt as quickly as we would have liked. But this is a plan to pay it down within 3 years at $71,000 per year.
Can I bug you with another question? Mm-hmm. Is there any thought to either lengthening the term or pushing that off a year now that we're changing or we're pushing back the updated billing methodology? Like, are we better to push that down the road a little bit so that it's a smoother transition and where we're not using the estimated volumes and we're going to be using metered volumes? Like, I don't know if we're going to see a big swing once we start seeing metered volumes where, bills are going to be kind of up and down and kind of all over the place. If there's some value to smoothing that out over a longer term or what that might look like.
And I wonder, did I put the cash balances? So our current cash balance is $339,000 projected for the end of the current fiscal year. And at the end of next fiscal year, it'd be $268,000. So there is a decrease of about $71,000, which is that debt payment. And so if we were to put it off, it would increase our cash balance by roughly $70,000. But we'll have to see how it goes with the new pumping data, and I don't know how we're going to end up. I do think that we'll be able to keep the lights on at the GSA with this level of reserves, but we probably need to come back in a month or so with maybe establish a reserve policy for the GSA on how much to keep in, because this is just an estimate, we have estimates of what it will be, but there's really no policy at this point established by the board on how much to keep in reserves for those, really to serve as a rate stabilization fund to manage those swings in pumping.
Thanks.
Through the chair, we made a decision this year to do year-by-year budgets just because of that. We were uncertain about how numbers would come in the future, so that's kind of how we're trying to cope with that.
Perfect.
And I think the methodology in the long term will provide more revenue stability since it is backward looking on the prior year pumping, which is used for the next year's assessments. That does provide some stability, and it's just that there's been some shifting of what the estimated numbers were that made them come in lower. So here's the total revenue. For the fiscal year 27, we're projecting $504,000 in revenue compared with the budget from last year, which is $500,000. And this is based on a fee of $120 per acre foot, an estimated pumping of 4,200 acre feet. So it is an increase in the fee. I think it's $80 currently, is that correct?
Yes.
So our next steps will to come back April 8th with the proposed budget and the Prop 218 notice, and then mail the notices on April 22nd.
Any questions?
I just wanted to comment on the operating expense that rate and budget did go through, that schedule, and was in agreement with particularly the allocation elements. There was some incremental increases, but it was really about allocating between CVWD and GSA. So we did a pretty thorough review. And I agree with your thought about the reserve policy. That's prudent.
So that's a, 50% increase in the fee per acre foot? Is that what we're looking at? Yeah. Phew. And the main driver is personnel?
You may answer that, or?
You can go ahead.
Yeah, so we reallocated staffing this year. It was under allocated in the past years, and so we just trying to correct that, so yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Polly or Matt, anything?
Good.
Yes, Kelly, in the previous meeting, or the last GSA meeting, we approved purchasing the transmitters. So those will go into the 26 budget?
Correct.
And do you anticipate we have to buy more, or are we close to having enough transmitters to?
That should be pretty close. I think it was 250 that were authorized. So,
Okay.
yeah, we should be okay. Yeah, that you can see in their projections. This is the projected expenses. So we are coming in higher for fiscal year 26 than what was originally budgeted, because that was an unbudgeted expense.
Okay, if there's no more questions, then we'll move on to, thank you, everyone. Then we move on to item number 6, Executive Director's Report. There is none. And then item number 7, that we are adjourned. Then we reconvene the regular meeting of the Carpinteria Valley Water District. Item number 9, new business. 9A, consider authorizing a contract with Spader Associates in the amount not to exceed $92,975 for environmental services during construction of CAP. For action, Kelly.
Okay, so, yes, CAP environmental services during construction. We had a 2019 environmental impact report and then addenda in 2024 and 2026, which required mitigation measures to be implemented prior to and during construction. We also had the city's conditional use permit, which added requirements during construction. And we were looking for these mitigation measures required firms who specialize in environmental compliance and monitoring of our activities. So we released a request for proposal on February 27th, and also solicited qualified firms. The scope of work included preparing creeks preservation construction mitigation plan, nesting bird and protected tree surveys, worker environmental awareness program training, general coordination with the project team, archaeological monitoring during initial ground disturbing activities, preparing a construction status report, and then biological and cultural resources sensitivity training. So we received 4 proposals. And after reviewing the proposals, Padre Associates was selected. They have a long-standing relationship working with Carpinteria Valley Water District. They also have recent relevant experience working with the city of Carpinteria, which we thought was a highlight of their proposal. They have staff availability and also had the lowest rates and fees.
Okay, any questions?
I was a little lost. Were they the lowest bidder?
Yes, they were. Although it's not required for environmental services to go with the lowest bidder, they just happen to be.
Cherry on top. Thanks.
Polly, Matt, anything?
Just a note on that, Director Balch. We select for professional services on a quality basis, so we don't prioritize the fee if we get one.
Yeah, I just didn't see the other numbers. I didn't know if they were close or all over the map or what they look like.
Just curious, do you have the numbers on the other three bids, or?
Not offhand, but they came in, I want to say a couple of them were around 160,000.
What, 160?
Oh. There's just various reasons for the differences, but my recollection is based on the assumptions they had for monitoring during construction, for how long they'd be monitoring. They also had different rates for the Native American monitoring, but Padre has pretty recent experience with that in the city of Carpinteria, so we felt pretty comfortable that their rates were accurate.
Okay, thank you. Can we have a motion, please?
I move to authorize a contract with Padre and Associates in an amount not to exceed $92,975 for environmental services during construction of CAP.
Second?
We got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? And a roll call, please, Lisa.
Director O'Connor?
Aye.
Director Holcomb?
Yes.
Director Balch?
Aye.
Director Roberts?
Aye.
Director Van Megerden?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Then we got item number 9B, consider establishing a new employee classification of water operating in training and distribution at salary rates 13 for action. Kelly?
Yes, thank you, directors. This is something we've been having trouble for a long time, actually, recruiting for operators. We've had a vacant position open for quite a while on our website. And so this was to give us more flexibility where we could hire someone who doesn't have the certifications in hand, get them working on the job, but then have a requirement that they obtain all their certifications within 12 months of hire. So it would kind of open up the candidate pool a little bit more for some of our positions, and get people in, that are intending to advance in their operator experience. So
Any questions?
I'll move for approval of this new employee classification of water operator in training and distribution.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? And roll call, please, Lisa.
Director O'Connor?
Aye.
Director Holcomb?
Yes.
Director Balch?
Aye.
Director Roberts?
Aye.
And Director Van Megerden?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Then we got 9C, consider adoptions of resolution number 1177, commending Robert McDonald upon his retirement after 27 years of service. Thank you, Bob. Go ahead, Kelly.
do you want to say anything?
Oh, thank you.
Well, no, thank you, so.
Are we going to read the
Yeah,
resolution?
we're going to
aloud?
read it, or should we just?
Well,
I just have to say, soft-spoken to the bitter end.
I'm happy to read it.
Happy to read it, or happy just to prove it, or?
You want to read the whole thing?
Sure.
Yeah.
Or if somebody else wants to. Resolution 1177, resolution of the Board of Directors of Carpinteria Valley Water District commending Robert McDonald upon his retirement after 27 years of service. Whereas Robert McDonald has faithfully served the Carpinteria Valley Water District for 27 years, demonstrating dedication, professionalism, and exceptional work ethic throughout his tenure with the district. And whereas Robert began his career with the district as the district engineer and through his commitment, leadership, and institutional knowledge, ultimately rose to serve as the district's general manager in 2016. And whereas during his career with the district, Robert played a key role in the planning, development, and implementation of major infrastructure projects critical to maintaining and improving the district water system, reliability, and long-term sustainability. And whereas General Manager Robert provided leadership and strategic direction for district operations, overseeing water supply planning, capital improvement programs, financial stewardship, regulatory compliance, and the effective delivery of water services to the community. And whereas Robert prepared and presented comprehensive reports and recommendations to the Board of Directors on district programs, policies, budgets, and administrative matters, ensuring informed decision-making and transparency in district operations. And whereas Robert worked collaboratively with regional water agencies, governmental partners, and community stakeholders on water supply, resource management, and policy issues affecting the district and the broader region. And whereas Robert supported the development of long-range planning documents, studies, and strategic initiatives that have helped position the district to meet future water supply challenges. And whereas throughout his service, Robert demonstrated professionalism, steady leadership, and a collaborative approach that earned the respect of district staff, board members, partner agencies, and the customers he served. Now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Directors of the Carpinteria Valley Water District hereby extends its sincere appreciation and commendation to Robert McDonald for his 27 years of outstanding service and leadership, and expresses its gratitude to the lasting contributions he has made to the district and the community. Be further resolved that the Board of Directors extends its warmest congratulations and best wishes to Robert McDonald for a fulfilling and well-deserved retirement.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that very much, and, you know, it's been my pleasure serving the district for 27 years. Went by very fast. And, you know, I think the greatest reward was working with a board such as yourself and the staff that supported me along the way. And, you know, I can't think of a better situation for a career than this. And so I appreciate that, and, you know, want to extend that back to you guys and the staff.
Well, thank you. Genuinely, can we have a motion, please?
Polly makes a motion to support Resolution 1177, honoring Bob McDonald.
I'll second that.
We got a motion and a second, and no more discussion. A roll call, please.
Director O'Connor?
Aye.
Director Holcomb?
Yes.
Director Balch?
Aye.
Director Roberts?
Aye.
Think about it.
And Director Van Wingerden?
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you, everyone. Then we got number 10, Director Reports. 10A, CCWA regular meeting, February 26, 2026. Casey?
All right, good meeting. As we've talked about a little bit, the new executive director, Peter Thompson, kind of came on board for his first meeting. He's got a strong background in state water project operations and advocacy, as well as contractor experience. He also came up like through the operations side of it. So I think he's gonna be a great fit. I think the board did a great job. So we're looking forward to his tenure there. Talked a little bit about the spill conditions. That's hasn't happened as of that meeting, but we're real close at the San Luis Reservoir. So they're exploring some opportunities with the feds to get a little bit of share in there, but that's yet to be fully fleshed out. Subsidence is becoming a big picture now. So there's a lot of stuff around Senate Bill 872 trying to get some funding to help support the repairs and correction to that subsidence issue. The coastal branch is kind of especially at risk with subsidence. So we are big advocates of that. Did some formalizing of governance through a director's handbook. That was kind of good to see him putting that together. And then discussions around launching into strategic planning for a 3 to 5 year look forward with the new general manager coming on. It's a great time to do it, and it hasn't been done in quite some time. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions? My question is, St. Louis Reservoir, did we complete the deal with United, or we it's still hanging out there?
No, they didn't have any room to store it, so they wanted to change the contract, which the timing didn't really work, but, you know, if we do make it without spilling, then we'll be able to really.
We'll try again.
We'll try again, and we'll be able to get a better price.
Okay, sounds good. And then, Patrick, was it yesterday you had the meeting at the?
No, it was this morning, actually,
Okay,
or
so
noontime.
for co-meeting for March 11th, Patrick, please.
Yeah, it was a special meeting as a result of some timing around fishery projects. There's two, the Hilton Creek Passage and the El Jaro Cross Creek Ranch area. Interesting learning for me, of course, as always, but these are projects that are related largely to the really impressive progress that's been made on the steelhead, sort of habitat improvement. So really impressive results lately, given the, current conditions. So there's fish. But more importantly, there's approval required to get some more data and some more grant application stuff done in time to do some pretty critical projects around those two areas that will dramatically improve the spawning grounds for these fish. And they're out there, and there's a bunch of females, and it's really going well. So that was the purpose of the meeting.
Thank you. Then we got item number 11, General Manager's Report, none. Item 12, consider dates and items for the agenda for the Carpinteria Valley Water District Board meeting of March 25, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. Carpinteria City Hall, 5775 Carpinteria Avenue, Carpinteria, California, and we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Recording stop.